Hi everyone, this time I'll show you how to knit such cuffs or sleeves. For this pattern I'm using Austermann Candio yarn. Just the white one with the silver lurex stuff. And it is recommended that you use a needle with 4 or 4.5 millimeter. But actually I'm using a 3 millimeter needle or 2 needles with 3 millimeter size, and you could also use a 2.5, so it's not always really right. Yeah, and before we start to knit, I will show you how to do a swatch. So here I knitted some rows. This is a stockinette stitch, so you can do it in the stitch you like. And then here I have. So you measure this, and my ruler tells me that this is approximately 10 centimeter. So I have here my swatch, and I cast it on 20 stitches, and this is 10 centimeters. And then I measured the length for my hand. So I have here my band and my hand. And this tells me that my length for my hand is 18 centimeter. But I will knit 17, not 18, but I will knit 17 because it is better. The yarn is very elastic and it fits better. So we had 20 stitches for our swatch and 10 centimeters. 20 divided by 10 is 2. And if we want to knit 17 centimeters, we have to multiply it by 2, and then we get the number of stitches which we need. And this number is quite good because I will start with the ribbing pattern purl to knit 2. So this number can be divided by 2, and this is really good. So you should choose a number. So maybe if your answer here, if your solution here is 33, then maybe you can decide if you start with 32 or 34 stitches. This would be better if you use purl to knit 2. Maybe if you use purl 3 knit 3, the 33 would be better. So you should know which one is better for you. And yeah, I will start with the pattern right now. I start with a cast on, and for this we need enough yarn. I will have 34 stitches. At the beginning I do a circle and I put the long strand under the circle, and then you pull it through. Then you have a loop, and I take both needles for the cast on because you have an elastic border for this, or edging. So this is our first stitch, and then here is the short strand and here the long one, and I tension my yarn, I tension my strands to something like a triangle, and then I take my needles and I go under the thumb strand and I pull through the other strand, and this creates a second stitch. So tension your strands, then you go under the thumb strand and pull through the other strand, tighten. Again, tension your strands, go under the thumb strand and pull through the other one. And we repeat this until we have 34 stitches. So these are my 34 stitches, and now I will take one needle out and then put the strands or the stitches onto the cable, in the middle of the cable, and then we have to count our stitches that we have our middle or our center. If you have the half number of your stitches 34, that is 17, but it is better for the pattern if you have one side 16 and one side 18. So I will count 16 stitches. 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16. So yeah, we have here our middle, and then we pull the cable out here. Make sure do not twist your stitches. Okay. So then we have to have a look where the long strand is. Here's the short one. Oh, here's also the long one. Okay, so this will be our working needle. And the other side has to be with the stitches. So you pull your working needle out. And now we will start with our elastic edging. And for this I will use the pattern knit 2, purl 2. So I will start by knitting 2. To do this, I insert my needle from above on the back side of the stitch. Like this, and then you grab your yarn, pull this through the stitch and then take it off. So this was your first knit stitch. Again, insert your hook, not your hook, your needle, insert your needle, grab the yarn, pull it through and then take it off. The next two will be purled, the purl stitch, and to do this take the yarn to the front and then you insert your needle from above on the front side of the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, take it off. Again, put your yarn to the front, insert your needle from above on the front side of your stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, take it off. The next will be knit 2, then purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, whoops, purl 2, and the last one with knit stitch. So as we are knitting in the round, we have now to switch the needles. So I pull on this cable that we have our stitches on this needle. And this one is now our working needle and I pull it out. And we had here knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2. Okay, so then we have to continue here with purl 2. So we purl 2 and knit 2. and so on. And if you start a new round, so if you finish this row and you start here again with the second round, we knit in the round, and then we have to start again with the same stitch we did. So we started with knit 2, purl 2, then we have to do the same in the second round. We have also to knit the first 2 stitches and to purl the next 2. If you knit in the row, it is different, then you have to switch all the time, but not in the round. So in the round we will have to do the same. Okay, and then we will meet again if your edging is long enough. So you can do it as many rows, as many rounds as you want. This is how my edging looks like. And now I'll continue knitting the stockinette stitch, and for this I will knit only with the knit stitch in rounds, in every round with the knit stitch. And I will do this until I reach the point where I will do the thumb opening. So I will now, I think I will knit maybe something about 4 centimeters. Yeah, only the knit stitch. Now at this point we will knit the opening for the thumb, and we will knit this not in rounds but in rows. So here is my short strand, and this tells me that I have to begin doing this from this point on, and I will knit in rows from here to here, and then I will turn my work and knit backwards. And I will knit backwards again, and I will do this until I have my opening, my length for the opening, which I like. So, and for this I have also here my working needle and my needle where the stitches are. And I have to change them because we knit in rows. Yeah, otherwise it will be in round, but because we knit in rows, I have to change them. So we knit here and there and backwards. And because we knit in rows, so the purling side is facing us, and we have to purl all the stitches now, not to knit. And we'll also switch between purling one row and knitting one row. So this row will be the purl row. So now we continue knitting in this direction. and we will not knit or not purl the last stitch. We will always take the last stitch off, and this will create a nice edging for the thumb opening. So we always knit until the end of our row, until one stitch left, and then you take off the last stitch without knitting, only taking off. Now we have to knit backwards, and the next row will be done with the knit stitch. And we knit the first stitch 2, and so on, and don't forget to take off the last stitch. Don't knit the last stitch, and it will create something like this. Yeah, and we continue knitting in rows until we have the length for our opening. If you're done with the thumb opening, then we have to close it again. Make sure your last row was the knit stitch, the knit row, because if the last row is a purl row, then you have to purl all the time, and it's not really comfortable. So we will continue doing this with the knit stitch. And I will change my needles here, and then I will continue with the knit stitch. First I have to close my hole, and to do this you knit in the round. And then it's closed. And you continue knitting. And you will do the same as you did here. And you continue knitting in the round until you have your length of your cuffs. But make sure that you need this edging also at the other end. And then I will meet you to knit the edging. This is how it looks so far, and now we will do the ribbing pattern like here at this point, and I will switch to the pattern knit 2 purl 2, also in the round. So knit 2 and purl 2. So this is the pattern for this edging. We'll have here and here these 2 edgings. And then if you finish your edging, I will show you how to cast off. So this is the full length for the sleeve, and now I will cast off. And to do this, I will decrease all the time, and I will put back the stitches. And I will switch between the knit stitch and the purl stitch by casting off. So here we have 2 knit stitches, and I will decrease on the back loops. I insert my needle into the next 2 stitches. Then I grab the yarn, pull it through both stitches, pull it up, and then you take off the stitch and you put it back, but make sure your tension is very low. So this is really loose, otherwise it will be too tight and your sleeve will not fit. So the next two stitches here are purl stitches, so I will take the yarn to the front and I will decrease on the front side. So I insert my needle into the next two stitches, grab the yarn, pull it through, pull it up and take it off. Make sure it is very loose, and then you put back the stitch. So this one is still a purl stitch, so I will insert on the front side. I insert my needle into the next two stitches, grab the yarn, pull it through and pull up, take it off. Make sure your tension is very loose. So the next two here are stitches with the knit stitch, and I have my yarn on the back side. I pull the stitch back, then insert my needle into the next two stitches, grab the yarn, pull it through, take it off, make sure it's loose, and then you put it back. And you do this all the time, all around your sleeve opening. And then if you're done, oh no, the next are purl stitch, so I will. And then if you're done, you sew the ends in, and then you're finished. I have also a video for sewing in the ends.